Hello, I am here to show you how to tat split rings with a needle. I have another video about tatting a bracelet that is made of woven split rings. I use 4 shuttles to do that. And that video is on my channel. Today I am going to show you how to do that with a needle because I've had some requests. So you're going to start with kind of a long tail. You don't have to, but I prefer to because you're going to have to add on more thread. You're going to be tatting on the tail, so you're going to be using a lot of this thread, which is why I prefer a longer tail. It just keeps me from having to attach thread more frequently. So the first thing that you're going to do to make a split ring is your very first ring is going to be tatted just like a normal ring. You can use the split ring technique once I've showed you to do that first ring if you just want the practice, but it's going to come out exactly the same whether you use a split ring or just a ring. So I'm going to do 10 stitches each direction like I did in my other video. And I have found that I often lose count when I try to talk while I'm tatting, so I'm going to tat quietly. So you're going to do 10 stitches, 10 double stitches. Then you're going to leave a picot. This picot can be big or little. The goal of this is to have something to attach your ends of your bracelet to. So if you're making a bracelet and you want to use a jump ring and a clasp, you can put those on this little picot here. If you want to attach some thread to the end of this, you can just kind of loop it through and pull it till it makes a knot, and that will give you a good way to tie on a bracelet. Whatever you're going to use is going to attach to that picot right there. So that's the very beginning of your bracelet. So then what you're going to do is you're going to tat 10 more double stitches. And I was not looking at my needle while I was doing that, so my picot is disappearing, but it's still there. Okay, when you get to the end of that, you should know how to close a ring now. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to pull some tail thread out, pull this through, loop back through here, and we're going to pull that tight. Make sure that you're holding the loop, hold the actual stitches of that loop while you're pulling it tight so that it doesn't twist up on you. Okay, then you're going to switch to your other color that you're using. Now, you can start out with the other color exactly the same, minus the picot. So you can make just a ring to start it out. However, I like to have both threads attached at the end right here to add a little bit of strength to a bracelet. So I am going to switch to my other thread. And for me, adding a little bit of strength there means making sure that they both attach. Both pieces are attached to each other at that picot. So I'm actually going to thread this through the picot. Right here. And then I am going to tat my chain on here. Okay, so I'm just going to hold that out of the way, and I'm going to tap my chain. I'm going to do maybe 4 stitches. Let me pull that up a little bit so it's a little easier. And the point of these 4 stitches is to get approximately to the center of this ring right here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this through. And then what that does, you can see it makes this tiny little chain attached to that picot there. And pull that chain through. Okay, so you can see that little chain is attached to your picot now. Okay, so now what you want to do is pull that around so that it's actually like right here. Okay, and then I'm actually going to I'm going to feed this through here. So we have both threads through. No, we don't. I forgot about that. We can't do it that direction. I'm sorry. We'll have to do the ring and then thread that back through. Okay. So we'll just twist that back the other direction when we get to it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do a split ring now. This is the foundation of this whole thing. Now keep in mind there are other ways of doing this, I'm sure. This is just the method that's the most straightforward for me. So what we're going to do is we are going to pull our ball thread here, and we're going to go ahead and start that ring. So we're going to go 10 stitches. And I'm not even paying attention. Excuse me. You're going to start that ring right here. You're going to start that ring right here next to your chain. Okay, so we're going to do 10 stitches here. Okay, now you're going to take your tail thread off, and you're going to turn your needle around, and you're going to pretend that this is the pointy part of your needle, which neither end is exactly pointy, but that's what you're going to do. So then you're going to tat on this end. Make sure to pull it up snug. And 10 again. Seven, 8, 9, 'Did I do the back of that one? 9, okay, 10. All right, so then what we're going to do here is we are going to make sure that this part gets inside of our loop. Sorry, I've got them twisted. Give me just a moment here. All right, I've got my two threads separate now. Okay. So we actually want this piece to go through our loop. So we're going to pull it this way, and we are going to put the tail back in. Okay, and you're going to pull that chain, just like a regular chain. But remember to make sure that when you pull it out, it goes around this. So we're going to pull it. Let me make this piece a little bit longer here. Okay, pull it through. I tat it a little bit tighter than what my needle likes, apparently. I'm using, actually just grabbed the first needle that I found, so this needle is a little bit big for this thread probably. Okay, so I'm going to try and lay this all out so you can see exactly what I'm doing here. It looks complicated, but it's not. So you have your thread here. This is the piece that's going to become your loop once you pull this through. You can see that. All right, you want this tucked in. So you're going to go around that thread. So go around it, then go through this loop to make that chain. And pull that loop, that ring, tight. Okay, so once that ring is tight, you've got this piece here. You're going to pull that piece up here. And you're actually going to have to pull it completely through. Oh no, not this one. Okay, not completely through. Enough that you can get to these. Okay, that's fine. Enough that you can get to this thread, because this is where your next split ring is going. So rethread the first color. And it looks complicated because of all of the thread that I have tangled up here, but it's just because I can't use my hands quite as easily when they're in front of my computer like this. Okay, so we're going to rethread this, and we're using just the pink now, or whatever your first color is, obviously. So find that tail thread, put it back on. I'm going to go ahead and do one more split ring on this, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, I've done the first half of this split ring. Now, just because I want you to be able to see that split ring again, I'm going to show you. I take off the tail thread. And to be honest, you don't actually have to add this tail thread. You don't have to put this through the needle to start out, because you're just taking it right back off, but it's easier to do that so you can see exactly what's going on. Okay, and then we're going to tat on the tail again. Turn it around, turn your needle around, and tat right here. 10 more double stitches. Okay, I have 10 more double stitches that direction. So you can see I've got both directions. Rethread my needle. And then I'm going to make sure to wrap around. Make sure to pull this thread through what you're doing here. So you want when you close this, you want it to go around the blue thread here, the second color. Okay, so you can see right here, I'm gonna go, I've got this loop right here that it's gonna go through. I'm gonna go around that. Okay, so go ahead and pull it. Again, my needle's too big for this thread. Okay, because I had a problem with my thread, I didn't want you to have to wait while I undid that. So what we have here is this loop that we're about to close, this ring that's about to close. Make sure it goes, you're going to take as you're tightening it, this is my loop right here that I have to go back through where my tail thread is. So you're going to take this tail thread. I almost lost it. And take that needle back through, but make sure first that it is wrapped around the blue thread or the second color. Okay, so make sure it's wrapped around that second color, and you're going to go back through. Make sure to hold this tight. Hold all your stitches and your loop should tighten. What do I have twisted here? Okay, I've just got my tail thread kind of looped through here, so I'm going to get it out of my way. Come on. Okay. So you're going to tighten that. Tighten, tighten, tighten. And you can see that thread is looped through. So you're going to tighten that ring down. Okay. And so what you have here is, and I've gotten it twisted because I didn't hold everything well. So what you have here is the rings are looping through each other. It's not going to be obvious yet. Especially because this one will look funny because this little part wants to keep twisting back through there. So when you put the jump ring on this though, or whatever it is that you put on the end of that, it will be obvious. Okay, so you can see you've got kind of an overlap here. Now you're going to pull this through here, repeat with your blue thread, your second color, repeat, you're going to do another split ring right here. And I think you can see now how that is going to overlap back and forth. It is a little bit tedious. I actually find it easier with 4 shuttles than 1 needle, but that should be the basics for you. Hope that helps.